Hello and welcome back to another episode of Cynthia Untamed. This is your youthful and educational platform where we are having conversations that are affecting children and young people globally. We have conversations about education majorly. We have conversations about sustainable development, leadership, travel, basically anything you can think about that is affecting the modern day young person who is living in my home country in Kenya, anywhere in Africa, in the US, in the UK, basically anywhere across the globe. So today is one of those other, I don't want to call it random, but this is one of those vlogs where I get to take you behind the scenes of the work that I am doing. So on the 24th of January 2023, we're going to be celebrating International Day of Education. So as I film this, I'm actually preparing for a couple of activities just to mark the day. The theme of this year is investing in people and enabling that investment to transform the lives of people, and especially through education. So I'm going to take you step by step of the activities that I'm doing, the challenges I am facing as a young person who is advocating for education, but also accessing spaces with leaders, trying to navigate that space, trying to get opportunities out of those spaces for me and for other young people. What is it really like, and what does it really involve? What does it feel like? And how am I overcoming those obstacles? So for the last 2 years, I have been a youth leader with the Global Partnership for Education, which I have talked about before several times. My term is nearly coming to an end, and I actually think this is going to be the last engagement that I will be part of before my term really comes to an end, because I started this in February of 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic. Wait, was it February? No, February 2021. That was the second year of the pandemic, and then the entire 2022. So now it's coming to an end in February of 2023. I'm really grateful for the journey that has been, the doors it has opened, the spaces it has enabled me to access, the leaders I have addressed, the young people I have met, the networks I have created, the kind of person I have become just because of being a youth leader with the Global Partnership for Education. Now, if you've watched a couple of my other videos, you know that I do a lot of moderation of panels, emceeing and all that, especially for conversations such as this: leadership, development, global affairs, basically anything around that theme. Now, there was a time I did this behind the scenes video, and I was interviewing the then chief economist for World Bank Africa, Albert Zufak. Guys, if you've not watched that video, please just go back to it, because I had so many struggles. First of all, I didn't even have a laptop. The laptop I had was an old laptop that wasn't even mine, so the camera resolution was horrible. Then number two, the laptop I used on that day was also not my laptop, but it was the best that I could find at that particular time, and that's what I used to interview the chief economist for World Bank. But it was also a pretty old laptop, and it was very noisy, and I really struggled. Oh my god, guys, I really struggled with sound during that time. I also struggled with light. I remember I even had to rearrange my entire room. Oh my gosh, guys, nobody tells you about the struggle of being a young person trying to make something for themselves and succeeding at it. It's extremely challenging, can be very overwhelming and very expensive. But we've made a bit of progress since that season. We have a laptop. You know what? I'm just going to do an unboxing video with you guys, even if I've been using the laptop for like a year now. But I'll still do an unboxing video just to take you through the tech journey. So we do have a laptop, thank God. The other challenge I am really facing right now, as of this moment, is that I don't have internet. So the activity I'm going to be doing for International Education Day is interviewing the CEO of the GPE, and it's going to be a 15-minute talk. But I don't have internet. So one, I don't have Wi-Fi. Then number two, I have bundles on my phone. What do you call them? Data. I have data on my phone. But for some reason, Safaricom is just so down today. Actually, it's been down since I think last evening, as I filmed this last evening. So I have tried to put my phone outside the window and hotspot my laptop. I am really struggling. It just seems not to be working. I have restarted my gadget several times. I have tried everything and I'm really struggling with the internet. So I don't know how I'm going to do this interview without internet. So that's the other challenge I am really facing. I don't know what I'm going to do. But hopefully by the time I do the recording, at least the data should be working. That's really my prayer, that it should work for at least an hour, at least for that recording, so that I can just get it over and done with and complete it. And that's one of the other things that I've just been wondering. I really wish I just had a studio to do all these things, because sometimes I feel like if I had that, then maybe I would not really be struggling with most of those things, because you're a young person, you're interviewing a CEO, but you're doing it from your bedroom. So there are so many resources that you don't have. But I do the best I can with what I have. What can I do? Anyway, guys, so let's try and do the setup just so that I see how it looks for tomorrow when I'll be interviewing the CEO. But as you can see, even with this, I've tried natural light, but the light is just horrible. This is the side of my room that has the best light, but it's horrible. As you can see, my walls are reflecting, so that's bothering me a lot. You can see there's a shine on my face. I don't know how I will rectify that. Honestly, at this point, I'm just like, whatever, as long as they can see my face. But let's try and set up. Then once we are done, I'll do a preparation call with GPE. They've sent me like just a short guidelines on like what I'm supposed to ask and how the conversation will flow. So we'll go through that with them together, just so that I'm prepared. I've also had a look at it, but I'll also need to now sit again on my own for like an hour and just master everything. So let's get to it. Hi, as I predicted, my light is horrible. My light is horrible. Honestly, there's really nothing I can do about this light, because with the walls, there's either going to be a reflection or there's going to be a shadow. So I just can't prevent it. Then where the curtain is, that's where the window is, obviously. So there's a lot of light coming from the window, and it's January, it's extremely hot, the sun is just too bright. But if I don't switch on the ring light, my face is going to be too dark, and my face is the most important part of the interview, because really that's all people are going to be seeing. People just see like my face and maybe just the upper part of my body. So I really just have to pay more attention to my face. So I've been trying to do like an individual Zoom meeting and see what I can do. So I have decided that I'm going to blur the screen. I'm really hoping the technical team will not tell me not to blur my screen. So I've decided that I'm going to blur my screen, or rather blur my background. Yeah, that's what it's called, to blur my background. If I blur it just a bit, then there is less concentration on the light that's coming from this window over here, and a bit more concentration into my face. So that's what I've decided. Let me show you how it looks. Okay, now you're seeing a lot of reflections, but I promise you it's just a little bit better when I blur my background. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so it's just about 10 minutes to 5 p.m. East African time. So I need to log into the call so that I can have a call with GPE, and like we just have a run of the show for the recording tomorrow. Guys, I promise you these things are much easier when they are done in person, because I moderated at the UN General Assembly last year in 2022, and trust me, it was so much easier because I didn't have to think about backgrounds. I didn't have to think about so many technicalities that I have to think about when I'm doing these things virtually. Honestly, doing these things virtually has helped me to access these spaces, because you can imagine now I would need to travel to Washington DC just to do this interview, or maybe London at the headquarters. And being a young person, there's a probability I wouldn't even have the funding to go there. So what's going to happen? They will choose, organizations would choose someone who can, or basically someone who's based in the US, or someone who's just based not here in Africa. And maybe somebody who is older and more experienced. So really it's quite challenging. So doing it on Zoom gives me access to these spaces, because now I can just log in and do it. But then with doing it here virtually, it means I have to struggle with so many things. Yeah, but I'm learning as I go. I think I've really made quite some progress. Like I mentioned, at least we have a better laptop, so at least I'm not complaining about my camera. It's not really my camera that has a problem. At least we're not complaining about that. So step by step, I think we'll get there. Someday we'll have better we'll have better lighting, but meanwhile, let's log into the call. And I'm going to have to disconnect just a bit, because the phone I'm using to record this vlog is the phone I am using to hotspot this laptop. So now I have to move it to another location because the internet is not working. So this is me logging into the Teams page. That is how it looks. Yeah, I'm trying to see how it looks. See how the filter at least brings more focus to my face, and less on what's happening to the sun and the rays behind me. Honestly, guys, I wish those better, but we've done this before. We've been through it before. We spent a whole night doing it and it didn't work. But we have a couple of virtual filters here, although I just don't think they work because they just don't look real. Let's see. I don't think they look real. No, they don't. I think even because of my internet, I'm not even able to test to see how they would look, to see how these virtual backgrounds would look. But I don't want to try something crazy because, guys, I've seen people on Zoom. You can clearly tell they're in an office, but there's waves behind them and there's an ocean, and you're like, that doesn't look realistic. Maybe this would look better. I don't know. I just wish the internet would favor me for a minute. But no, it's not. It's not working. Not working. So we'll just stick to my current background. I'm back from my brief call with the GPE team. And like I mentioned, nothing in this world can console me for the internet trouble I am having. Nothing. At this point, I just feel like calling someone from Safaricom and telling them to do something. But, well, what can I do? So the internet is so bad. Like, I just don't have internet at all. I only had like just a little bandwidth to log into the meeting, but I couldn't even turn on the video, so it's bad. So honestly guys, I just told the team I really have no internet. There's a suggestion for me to go do the call at the recording at the World Bank office here in Kenya. And I was in my head, I just thought, oh wait, it's like 5 p.m. How are they going to book me in at this point of the day so that I can access the World Bank building in like less than 24 hours? So I was just wondering how that will happen. There's also another suggestion for me to go to the Dalberg office, which I think is okay because I've been there before, and that's where I actually opened the Global Education Summit in 2021. So that is another option. I think that is a much better option because first of all, at least it's an office, so the room is going to look better. Guys, you know, like presidents will be watching this video and I'm here struggling with light and backgrounds and internet. Yeah, so I think the Dalberg office is fine. And then number two, because it's an office, I am pretty sure there's going to be Wi-Fi. And I'm pretty sure if I need to hotspot, the network there is much better than where I am right now. So can even hear the children crying in the background. So imagine when I'm doing this recording and children are crying in the background. Guys, the day I'm going to be in those World Economic Forums, more UN General Assemblies, more World Bank spring meetings and World Bank annual meetings, just opening those summits. Guys, the days I will be there and you'll be seeing me in those nice clothes and nice stages. Remember where I came from. Have you heard me? Remember where I came. No, remember where we came from as Cynthia Untamed. We keep the battle going. Anyway, we've had discussions on like what I could talk about and probably how the CEO is probably going to respond. So let's wait for tomorrow. I will take you through the journey as we keep going. But this means now I have to get ready because now I have to think of a dress to wear. You know, when when you're doing these things on Zoom, you don't really, there are a couple of dress logistics you don't really have to like overthink, but yeah, now I have to overthink some things. So let's figure that out. But I also wanted to show you something else. This is my table, so I'm going to move you guys just a little bit. So in the spirit of World Education Day, I just wanted to take you through my current read. This is my current read. It's called Femolution, like feminine evolution. I got this book from a book exhibition at the Village Market in 2022, last year. I don't remember the exact month, but I was like, okay, I like the cover. What is it about? Yeah, so it's basically a collection of poems and short stories written by women about their evolution in various aspects of life. Various aspects of life, where I've gotten to their stories on relationships, their stories on health, their stories on life, and basically just how people are going through those kinds of evolutions. So this is my current read, and I'm trying to remember how much it was. I really don't remember how much it was, but I think it was 500 shillings. If I'm very, very accurate, because I remember this, I bought this book the same day I bought the Justice Willie Mutunga's book, and I remember this was much cheaper. So I even got 2 copies because they have 2 volumes. This is the first volume, then they have another volume which I haven't read. So this is the one I'm reading. The company that was selling that day was called Baiskeli. I haven't been there yet, so maybe I'm just doing free advertisement for them. But they told me they're in Gigiri, and you can see their contacts over there, and they have like a collection of creative stuff. So maybe one day I'll go to their shop. I don't know. May the Lord enable us with financial resources to go to that shop. Yeah, so basically this is like their cute business card. And then they had these cards that were complimentary to the books. And basically the cards just feature organizations creating change in Kenya. So for example, this one was about sports. It's called Moving the Goalpost, and I've actually interviewed the previous CEO before. It's founded in 2002. Moving the Goalpost is a development program that harnesses sport to challenge the lives of young women living at the Kenyan coasts. So what is supposed to happen, I have tried doing it, but I think because of my internet the page isn't loading. But basically, for you to access their story, you have this card and then you just scan this QR code. You see it's written scan me. So once you scan this QR code, it should take you to a page that highlights the story of this organization. And I think they told me it's supposed to be on Facebook. So you just basically get to learn about that organization completely. There were actually 2 cards, and I think I got 2 cards because I got 2 books, if I'm not wrong. Because there's another one here. Or is it because I said I wanted to give it to someone? I don't remember. There's another one here, and it was about yoga. That's what I'm using as my bookmark. It's called Yoga Heart Kenya, and also just talks about the organization. And then if you want to learn more about the organization, you scan that QR code and then it takes you to their page, which I think is very creative, because here you have a really good bookmark and you also get to learn about an organization. And I think this, for lovers of books, I think this can also be a really nice postcard. Now, I grew up in the generation where I hear that people used to receive postcards back in the day. So I am just saying this could be a very nice postcard. Yeah, you'd not really be able to write anything on it though. But yeah, I think it could act as a really great postcard for any library that you're building, or for any young person you're just basically inspiring, or you want to gift or something like that. So this is my current read. Let's continue the journey behind the scenes for Education Day 2023. So how did I not tell you that there are so many activities that I need to do? Actually, there are like 3 activities I need to do for International Day of Education. The other thing I'm doing is collaborating with young people in Kenya, because I try to do a lot of this advocacy from a Kenyan context and an international context. So with GPE, I get to do it from the international space, like presidents, leaders, private sector partners, like the global leaders. And then now there's partnerships with young people here in my country, in Kenya, and like basically in my region. So there's a youth network called UNESCO Youth Kenya, and they're going to host a Twitter chat on International Day of Education at 7:30 p.m. East African time. So hopefully if you're watching this on the 23rd of January, then you'll be able to catch the Twitter chat. And we're basically going to have just a short conversation on the Transforming Education Summit that happened last year. What was it about? What did it entail? What were the outcomes? How can young people be involved? How will they understand the youth declaration that was presented to the UN General Assembly during that time? What is their role to implement that youth declaration, as well as what is the role of policymakers and influencers in implementing that kind of a document? So basically the conversation is going to center around that. It's a partnership between UNESCO Youth Kenya as well as the Kenya National Commission for UNESCO. Here are the posters. So please do follow me online at Cynthia_Oprah on Twitter, just to get like all the information about the Twitter chat. And we're going to have that brief conversation, get it done, have that online space bubbling with a lot of conversations on education. Lastly, the other thing that I need to do in terms of partnering with young people in Kenya is to record a video for a youth education champion here in Kenya. She invited me for an event on about Education Day, but I can't make it, and yeah, there's a lot of transition going on, so I can't make it to the event. So she asked if I could do a video. I have not yet done the video but I need to do that video. I need to record it and send it to her. But it's really just about education. So talking about the Transform Education Summit, what were the outcomes, what has what is my journey as a young education advocate, basically like a clip, an inspirational clip that I could have done if I was there in person. So I need to record that and send it to her. At least this is not a live recording, so I'm not going to be so stressed about the internet. You are watching this because we've come to the end. If we've come to the end and you're seeing this, it means that everything went well. Despite the challenges, we were successful in doing everything that we were meant to do. So I'm going to leave all the links that you will need in the description bar below, so make sure you go and have a look. Catch the Raise Your Hand live on Twitter on the 24th of January, International Day of Education. Catch my other Twitter conversation on International Day of Education from my Twitter handle at Cynthia_Oprah. And I just happened to be at the University of Nairobi, and look at what I found. I discovered that they actually make soap at the University of Nairobi, and I asked, and I was told that the soap is manufactured by the staff and students, the third year students studying industrial chemistry, but they're also supervised to make the soap. The shop also had a couple of other things. This is at the University of Nairobi Chiromo campus. So if you happen to be there by any chance, make sure you support. We're talking about research, STEM education, and just enabling young people to make use of their education. So let me just show it to you, and then you can decide if you're going to buy it. Here it is. It is called Nukem, General Purpose Detergent Nukem, and it's a product of the Department of Chemistry from the University of Nairobi. So it's basically liquid soap, and you can use it for anything. You can use it to clean surfaces, you can use it to wash your clothes, you can use it to wash your dishes. Yeah, it will be for you to decide. This 5-liter bottle goes for 400 shillings, but they also have a couple of other items, including, what else did I see? I saw a couple of herbs, a couple of stuff. I'm going to leave the link to the shop so that you can just have a look at it and see the catalog, and then you can decide to go and buy from there. I think 400 shillings is quite affordable. Otherwise, thank you so much for being a part of Cynthia Untamed, and happy International Day of Education.